Hello. This public health promotion assignment discusses Is Your Air Harming You?, which focuses on the issue of air pollution in Detroit, Michigan. This was written by Soraya Ahmed, Rochelle Chapman, Maggie Graham, Jenna Harper, and Nikita Patil. To get started, Soraya is going to discuss the background of our problem.
Hi, for the background, Detroit, also known as the Motor City, is home to many industries that release harmful criteria pollutants into Detroit's air. These pollutants are all known as matter 2.5, ozone, nitrogen dioxide, sulfur dioxide, and account for over 13,500 delay or time lost due to premature death or poor health. As you can see in the map below, the areas highlighted in blue are areas that are in non-attainment, meaning these areas have higher concentration of the criteria pollutants such as sulfur dioxide and ozone, then are deemed safe or allowable by the Clean Air Act. In this highlighted area in the zip code of 4817, which is known for having disproportionately high levels of air pollution. This zip code is subject to such a high level of population for many reasons, but the main one being these five polluters shown in the bar graph below. Within 4 miles of the zip code lives the Ford Motor Company, the EES Koch Battery, uh, US Steel, the Marathon Refinery, and lastly the Cormos Lime and Stone, incorporate incorporate altogether producing 100,000 of tons of air toxins. Our program hopes to address these inequalities and provide relief to areas like 4817 from the harmful effects of air pollution that is caused by these pollution industries. And then Nikita, you can go for the introduction.
Hello. Our health promotion program aims to improve environmental air protections for the state of Michigan and Detroit by reducing the level of allowable pollution as cited by the EPA Clean Air Act and Michigan Department of Environment Great Lake Energy Standards. The program will partner with community stakeholders, educate and empower community members to advocate for themselves, and support equal community participation in research that residents can directly benefit from. In doing this, we will enhance community capacity by supporting equal community participation in research that residents can directly benefit from. In community-based participatory research model will be adopted to involve community members actively in research activities. Using the CBPR model will allow community members to have a voice at the table about what's happening in their communities. Our plan is to conduct surveys, provide virtual training, infographics, and fact sheets to educate community members and inform them of health concerns. Our program will do this by using tools such as Qualtrics as our survey method to conduct pre and post program implementation surveys, as well as provide information on air quality testing app to ensure Detroit residents are able to make informed decisions regarding their health. I'll request Jenna to explain you implementation methods.
So our program will follow the policy process by setting the agenda to identify the issues that our program would like to address by hosting town hall meetings for Detroit residents with the help of our community partnerships such as MI Eagle, Wayne State University Center for Urban Studies, Cures, and other grassroots organizations. Our town hall meetings will be advertised on local Facebook pages in the area and encourage anyone living in Detroit to attend to share their point of view. We will also evaluate the pre-surveys given to the community members during this step to gain the insight we need to design a program that is desirable for the community. And after our committee collects the qualitative data provided by community members, we will use this information during the design process of our program. This qualitative data will include the insight we gained from the community-based participatory research that we conducted with the Wayne State University Center for Urban Studies. And afterwards, we will work on adopting our program by asking key political leaders for letters of support regarding our health promotion program. We will specifically work with Michigan State representatives, as well as Senator Debbie Stabenow and Senator Stephanie Chang. And we chose these political leaders because they are currently involved with some of our community partnerships, such as MI Eagle and Cures. To continue our support and build stronger relationship with these leaders, we plan to support their campaigns through the advertisement of our program and our program's media coverage. And so finally, during the implementation stage, we will follow the timeline working around the election cycle of 2024, where we will implement our community and political outreach, as well as conduct the educational sessions as the campaigning is taking place. But in the long run, after the policy component of our program is implemented, industries will have about 120 days to reduce their emissions. And after 5 years of the policy implementation, this will be reduced to 60 days. Lastly, our program also will work with our community organizations to test for attainment every 3 months to ensure that Detroit does not return to non-attainment. So we'll move on to Maggie to go over our evaluation methods.
Hello, everyone. So for the formative evaluation methods, one thing we would like to start with is community partner outreach. During this outreach, we're going to contact the people we want to partner with, like Michigan Eagle, WSU Center for Urban Studies, grassroots organizations in the community, and then environmental or political advocates. We want to work with Michigan Eagle because they are a government-based and reliable organization, and they have an education tool called Michigan Eagle Classroom. We want to use this as a curriculum in our informational sessions for the Detroit communities and base other stuff off of it. We also want to work alongside Wayne State Center for Urban Studies and the Cures team. They're a huge researching body and they have a large footprint in the city of Detroit. We plan to work alongside them to determine health literacy standards in the community and other community needs by conducting the pre and post surveys via Qualtrics and using the CVPR research method. Moreover, we know that members of the community, as well as researchers, are already interested in improving air quality in the area because of the grassroots organization's presence in the community. And so the last steps that we're going to work on towards policy change in the formative stages are recruiting advocates and leaders to help launch the program to ensure that change happens. So next, after starting the initial steps in program development, a similar tool can be used throughout the whole process to determine if the program is working effectively. Surveying the community and conducting the CVPR actively throughout the process will allow for researchers to see changes in health literacy, community involvement, political activeness, and more. As we continue to put pressures on corporations with increased community knowledge, it will build support for our public health policy change and pave the way for the policy to garner community-wide support. The program will educate community members through the Michigan Eagle classroom sessions, and it will be a way for the community members to get more involved and eventually influence community policy and leadership. And if our health education intervention is working, it will garner community support. People will continue to be community leaders and advocate for their neighbors, and will have more knowledge on environmental policy that is reflected in CVPR and the post surveys. And then community advocacy measurements. Moving into outcome, to measure outcomes, we will work with community partners to conduct post surveys. We're going to determine if there are any educational changes met or the ability to answer the questions like what are air pollution, etc. Additionally, we will canvass the community attitudes around environmental policy and if people think the change is necessary. And lastly, just to look at impacts, in the long term, policy change would be the biggest impact, as well as improved air quality, lower prevalence of respiratory diseases, and increased air quality testing. And lastly, I'm going to pass it to Rochelle.
If our program is successful in reducing air pollution levels and promoting healthy behaviors, it can lead to significant improvement in the quality of life for individuals with respiratory diseases. This could also lead to improved sleep, increased energy levels, and a better overall sense of well-being. Additionally, this should help to prevent respiratory diseases from developing in the first place by reducing exposure to air pollution and promoting healthy lifestyle choices, such as exercise and a healthy diet. This could also lead to a reduction in healthcare costs for providers, fewer missed days of work or school, and an overall improvement in the quality of life for the entire community. This could reduce the financial burdens of individuals, families, and healthcare systems. Is your air harming you? For many Detroit residents, unfortunately, the answer to this question is yes. Breathing clean air should not be something that people have to worry about. We cannot breathe without air. And with our program, our goal is to make the air safer. In conclusion, we want to reiterate that we will use rates of criteria, pollutant emissions, and levels of pollution to evaluate the effectiveness of our program. We plan to evaluate our program by evaluating the prevalence and the severity of respiratory disorders. We can enhance the quality of the air we breathe and lessen the toll of respiratory illnesses that they have on both individuals and society by putting in place efficient policies and actions. We hope, as a group, to use our evaluation process to continually improve our program using disease prevalence and vital statistics to ensure that these health outcomes are achieved. Thank you.
And here are our references.
Okay, I can say that. Here are our references. Okay.